Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. For today's box opening, we have a Dominaria Remastered Draft Booster Box. So this box contains 36 packs of remastered goodness. Now we've already opened up one collector booster box on the channel. If you missed that box opening, I highly encourage you to go back and watch it. It was a pretty good box opening. We didn't see some of the best hits in the set, but we did get to see quite a few classic cards. And in today's box opening, we're going to see even more because we're going to be able to see 540 cards instead of 180. So let's just go ahead and move that out of the way. And if you missed it last time, I kind of presented my Alpha, Howl from Beyond, Urza's Incubator, and Wild Growth. Some of my classic cards that are reprinted in this set. I've got a few more on standby, so should we come across some of the cards that I have in my collection, I'll bring them up. All right, so pack number one. All right, so this is going to start off with an Urborg Siphon Mage, followed by a Werebear, an Avarax, a Peregrine Drake with an Isolation Javelineers, Slippery Karst, with a Mind Stone, a Duress. Then we're going to see a Griffin Guide, followed by a Necro Savant, a Thran Golem, and we are going to see a borderless Sylvan Library coming in. This is going to be a fantastic hit, especially for the draft booster box. This is going to be currently over $25 in value. And then we're going to see a retro counterspell with a foil Avarax and a retro planes and an elemental. There's like so much going on here. So I think this will be our piles. Hopefully that works out for us. That was an amazing first pack. All right. Pack number two, we're going to kick this one off with an Emerald Charm, with an Empty the Warrens, a Hermetic Study, Savannah Lions, the Urborg Uprising, Slippery Karst, Festering Goblin, the Giant Spider. Speaking of the Giant Spider, I'll come back to that. We got a Mystical Zealot, got a Recoil with a Sarah Angel featured on the box. Very cool. And then we got a Gamekeeper and a Wrath of God. Very nice to see that. Then we've got an Undead Gladiator as our retro with a retro island and an elephant in the back. So no foil that time. And in case you wanted to see, here is an alpha giant spider compared to today's giant spider. And there's just kind of a look at the back. All right, awesome. So it's kind of fun to go back and revisit some of the older cards. And that's what I got to do just before I opened this box. All right, so we are going to see Snap, followed by a Sun Clasp, then the Street Wraith, the Elvish Apparition, an Undying Rage, a Penumbra Bobcat, then we've got a Skirk Prospector with a Wolfrang Drake, a Remote Isle, then we're going to see Illusion and Reality with a Fire Blast, a Battle Screech, and then we're going to see a No Mercy Retro Mythic coming in here. Very nice to see this. This is definitely going to have some value. And then we're going to see a Skirk Prospector with an island and a Goblin token in the back. So maybe this is how we'll do it. We'll actually put our big hits up top. That way you all can see them. Wrath of God, fun card, but not high value. All right, so we got our Wretched Onurid, another Emerald Charm, an Empty the Warrens, a Hermetic Study, Savannah Lions, a Veiled Serpent, Drifting Meadow, followed by an Icor Slick, Croesus Catacombs. Then we've got a Dragon Whelp, Draloon's Crusade, with a Pashilic Mons coming in as our rare. It does hold a little bit of value. And then we're going to see a Spirit Link in retro with a foil Cloud of Fairies, followed by a Mountain and a Cat token. So big fan of the retro lands. Have quite a few of the retro lands in foil. Maybe I'll show them after this pack just so you all can see them. The foiling they've done on this particular set in the collector booster boxes on those cards, really spot on. So we got a Symbiotic Beast, an Ember Beast, an Impulse, Spirit Link, followed by a Jalum Tome, Hyloropterus Lemure. Don't remember that card. Then we got a Festering Goblin, another Giant Spider, a Phantom Flock, a High Tide with Treva's Ruins, Dodecapod, and we are going to see an Arborea coming in as our rare. A little bit of value there with a Tayova Benalith Druid coming in retro frame. Nice uncommon hit there. And then we've got ourselves a Forest and a Sheep token. I did promise I'd show some foil lands. Let's get a few of them out here. Here's just some of the Invasion and 7th edition foil lands. I've got a few more that are in hard cases, but these are not high value, so I just have them in soft cases. They're not worth tremendously amount of money, less than $10 each, but they were special because, you know, I opened them up in packs. So we got a Avenance, White Mane Lion, a Nightscape Familiar, Seton Desire, Macetail Hydraston, a Lull, followed by Sequata Lancer, Wormfang Drake, Vigilant Sentry. Then we're going to see Darigaz Calderia with a Slice and Dice, a Terravore, and then we're going to see a Wrath of God Borderless coming in. All right, so that's 2 Borderless, 1 Mythic, 1 Rare so far in this box. That's very cool. We'll put that up in this stack for right now. Then we got a Juggernaut Retro with a Mountain and a Cat token. So I have a feeling the prices on these boxes are going to go up. I don't necessarily see the price of the cards. The cards will come down in price, don't get me wrong, but I don't think they're gonna drop down to really, really low levels. All right, continuing on, we got the Spirit Link, the Jalum Tome, the Lancer, the Serpent, the Mystic Zealot, with a Flame Tongue Kavu, Crop Rotation. Then we're going to see a Floodgate coming in with a Hinterland Harbor retro frame rare. Very nice to see that. Does hold a little bit of value. And then we've got the Seer with a Swamp and a Bird token. So the one thing I don't necessarily like, and you just saw an example of it. So in this particular pack, right, or that pack, we got a rare retro, which meant that instead of getting a rare from the main set or the non-retro frame, they gave us an either a common or an uncommon. So there's no chance of getting 2 rares in these packs, which is I don't know, kind of feels bad. All right, we got a Scrounger, a Ridgetop Raptor, a Counterspell, Pacifism, Phyrexian Ghoul with an Ornithopter, Phyrexian Rager, Polluted Mire, followed by Zombie Infestation. Then we're going to see a Spirit Monger with a Chainer's Edict. And then we're going to see Zira Arian coming in as our rare. And then we're going to see a White Mane Lion coming in as a retro. And then we're going to see a foil Borderless No Mercy coming in. That is a really good hit. So the non-foil version is going to be just over $9 right now. Don't know what to say to that. That's awesome. And then, yes, we do get a Swamp and a Bird. All right, so we now have 2 Mythic Borderless and 1 Rare Borderless, and one of them is in foil. Don't know if this is typical. This is my first box opening. If it is, then I take back. The cards are going to all go way, way down. So we got a Manor War, Radiance Judgment, a Crackling Fiend, a Sandstorm, an Aquamoeba, Goblin Medics, followed by a Drifting Meadow, an Ichor Slick, Break Asunder, followed by a Fire and Ice, an Improvised Armor, a Milligan, and then we're going to see Lyra Dawnbringer coming in as a mythic hit from the main set. Does hold a little bit of value with a Peregrine Drake in retro And then we've got our planes and a construct token. Kind of weird to see a robot right behind that retro frame planes. Just two totally different eras of Magic. All right, so we've got the Lemure again, the Scrounger, the Raptor, Counterspell again, nice, Pacifism, followed by some Wild Dogs. Then we got the Goblin Matron, a Frantic Search, Kajoran Gargoyle with a Thieving Magpie, Swords to Plowshares, Keeper of the Flame, and we're going to see a Nantuko Shade coming in as our rare from the main set with a Dark Withering Retro Frame, followed by the Island and an Insect. So it's my understanding that you can't see any retro frame lands inside of a draft booster pack. Those are reserved for the collector booster pack, but everything else goes. So as you've seen, we've already seen Borderless, we've already seen Rare and Mythic Retro. I believe you can get these in foil in draft booster packs, and we've already seen that you can get foil Borderless. So you got a Kabu Primarch, Cole Stoker, followed by Cloud of Fairies, Renewed Faith, Twisted Experiment, Deep Analysis, that's kind of what we do here, Vigilant Sentry, a Goblin Matron, Call of the Herd, Circular Logic, and then Tuco Monastery coming in. Nice land there. With a Zur the Enchanter. So there's a rare retro frame coming in for us. Very nice to see that. A little bit of value. Followed by a Terror, and then a Krosan Restorer in foil with a Plains and an Elephant. All right, last pack in stack number 1. We've got Circle of the Forward Order, a Werebear, an Ember Beast, a Peregrine Drake, a Spirit Link, Dragon Engine, Chain Lightning, Terminal Moraine, a Terror, Tormod's Crypt, Tayana Ship's Caretaker, followed by Phyrexian Scuda, and then we're going to see an Enlightened Tutor coming in from the main set. It's going to be a decent hit, somewhere around $17. And we've got a Renewed Faith with a Forest and a Goblin. And for the Enlightened Tutor, I've got a couple to show. So I've got two here from Mirage. So just kind of showing you the evolution of the card. The dirt that's on there is just from the sleeves. And then I've got 3 6th editions. So lots of Enlightened Tutors at my disposal should I need them. So we're going to put Enlightened Tutor up there because that's going to be a really good hit for us. And then I'm just going to move some of the commons out of the way. All right, let's keep on rolling. So we got a Phyrexian Ghoul, followed by a Kabu Primarch, a Cole Stoker, Cloud of Fairies, the Renewed Faith, Ornithopter, Terminal Moraine, Phyrexian Rager, the Wild Dogs, Dampening Sphere with a Faceless Butcher. Then we've got an Assault and Battery with a Pyre Zombie rare coming in. And then a Goblin Matron in Retro with a Mountain and a Zombie in the back. So let me know in the comments, do you plan on using the retro lands from this set just to have a little nostalgia in your deck? Or are they just they look too old for you? So we got a Lightning Reflexes, Glintwing Invoker, and Oromancer, Phyrexian Debaser, Jalum Tome, Break Asunder, followed by a Solar Blast, Miss Toyota again, Squirrel's Nest. Then we've got a Rada Heir to Keld, so an uncommon Borderless coming in. Not a high value card. And then we're going to go ahead and see a Sulfur Vortex as our rare with a Nature's Lore in Retro. And we're going to see a Grim Lavamancer foil rare, followed by a Forest and a Saproling token. All right, so I guess the only way you can get a get a double rare pack as in the foil space, but that's pretty traditional with draft booster packs. All right, so we've got a Wretched Onirund, followed by a Primal Blast, with an Empty the Warrens, Hermetic Study, Savannah Lions, a Chain Lightning, Frantic Search, the Gargoyle, with a Dragon Engine, Dark Withering, Rith's Grove, and an Avenomancer. And then we're going to see a Saproling Symbiosis coming in. Very cool card, fun to play. With an Empty the Warrens, a Mountain, and an Angel token. Oh, no, Griffin token. I just assumed I saw wings and I saw white and I assumed it was an angel. Well, that pack just kind of disintegrated in my hand. All right, so we've got a Twisted Experiment, followed by the Primal Boost, the Lightning Reflexes, the Glintwing Invoker, the Oromancer, followed by the Even Fisher, a Remedy, Juggernaut, Smoldering Crater. Then we're going to see a Congregate with a Wax and Wane, a Mystic Enforcer, and we're going to see a Jester's Cap coming in retro. Very cool to see that. Then a Symbiotic Beast with an Island, and my first non-token token. So not so bad. I think we made it about halfway through the box before we got one of those. Although we might have another one there. Let's see. So we got the Krosan Restorer with a Subterranean Scout, Leaden Fists, Nomad Decoy, the Goblin Turncoat, the Fadia Seer with a Polluted Mire. Then we're going to see a Terror with a Lull, an Assault and Battery, a Storm Entity, followed by Mishra's Factory. There we go, it's sticking. We got a Helm of Awakening. A little bit of value there from that rare, with a Wild Dogs in retro, a Swamp, and a Squirrel. So this box has been pretty light on the foils. Only 5 so far, including our borderless hit. Don't know what's average for these yet, but we've got an Urborg Rising, an Emerald Charm, an Avarax, an Impulse, and an Acacian Javelineers, Howl from Beyond, with a Stonewood Invoker. Then we're going to see a Mog War Marshal, followed by a Dromar's Cavern, Quicksilver Dagger, a Fact or Fiction, with an Opposition coming in as our rare. A little bit of value. And then a Momentary Blink, and a Smoldering Crater Foil with a Plains and a Goblin. So all you got to do is just ask for an extra foil, and they give you one. It's that simple. Now, if we can get another borderless mythic foil in this box, that would be awesome. So we got a Phyrexian Debaser, the Restorer, the Scout, Leaden Fists, the Decoy, Mog War Marshal, the Fisher, the Remedy, followed by a Juggernaut, a Confiscate, an Invigorating Boon, with a Stand and Deliver, and that is awesome. All right, so we got a Siege Gang Commander, borderless rare coming in. Not a high value borderless rare, but I kind of asked for it, so thank you. And then we get a Dampening Sphere in retro with an Island and another non-token token. Sometimes you just get lucky. All right, so we got the Spark Array, followed by a Horseshoe Crab, a Momentary Blink, Evil Eye of Orms by Gore with a Wild Growth, an Obsessive Search, an Orm's Thunder, Mind Stone, followed by a Slippery Karst. Then we've got Pain and Suffering with an Aven Fate Shaper, Deadwood Treefolk, and then we're going to see a Sneak Attack Mythic coming in retro frame. That's going to be a pretty good hit for us. So we'll put that over here with No Mercy. Then we get a Goblin Matron, followed by a forest and a cat token. Or, yeah, forest and a cat token. So if anyone's interested in me opening a box of collector or draft, just shoot me an email. I don't have any specific prices in mind, but we can work something out. I'm sure I can acquire a few below market price. So just let me know if you want me to open a box on the channel. So we got a Scrounger, a Raptor, followed by Cloud of Fairies, Momentary Blink, Smoldering Crater. Then we're going to see a Howl from Beyond with a Stonewood Invoker, a Lightning Rift, Nature's Lore with a Dread Return, and then a Sarah Avatar coming in, Mythic hit. Very nice to see that. Unfortunately, not high value, or at least not on my list. Then we have a Duress, and we have an Illusion and Reality foil with a Swamp and a Zombie token. All right, 3 more packs in this stack. This is one of those marathon boxes, 36 packs, 15 cards each. Takes a while. So hopefully you're enjoying it. We got a Goblin Turncoat. We got the Seer. We got the Spark Spray, the Crab, the Blink, Evil Eye, Duress, Bobcat, Prospector. We got Order in Chaos, the Spectral Lynx, which I think is incorrect on TCG Player. They list this as a rare, but it's an uncommon. Then we got Spite and Malice. And then we've got a Decimate coming in as our rare hit with Gerard's Verdict in retro, and a Mountain and a Construct. So that wasn't a great pack. Don't know why they reprinted the split cards other than for the nostalgia. They weren't that good back then. They're not good now. We got ourselves a Snap with a Grape Shot before it, a Sunclasp, Street Wraith, Elvish Apparition, an Obsessive Search, Solar Blast, Orum's Thunder, followed by Remote Isle, Dragon Blood, Gem Palm Incinerator, and we're going to see a Mesa Enchantress with a Body Snatcher coming in as our rare, followed by a Wild Growth in Retro Frame with a Plains and an Insect. All right, so I'm just going to take a quick second and stack up some common uncommons, and we'll keep on going here. Let's just move some of our good cards over. All right, so this one's going to start out with a Phyrexian Ghoul. Then we're going to see a Kavu Primarch, Spark Spray, the Counterspell, the Auramancer, Phantom Flock, Remote Isle, Festering Goblin. If I can separate them, we've got a Dedapult right behind it with a Rada Heir to Keld, a Flesh Reaver, and then a Grim Lavamancer Retro Rare coming in with a Polluted Mire and a foil Chain Lightning with a Swamp and a Goblin. Very cool. Sorry for all the messy piles, but they all get sorted and organized when I do the box analysis, so it's okay. There's no damage happening. Got ourselves a Wild Growth, Grape Shot, Snap, Sunclasp, Street Wraith, the Mind Stone, Duress, with a Penumbra Bobcat, a Skirk Prospector, an Elvish Spirit Guide. This is going to be a really good uncommon hit. Then we got ourselves a Griffin Guide with a Necro Savant. And right behind it is going to be an Entomb. So this is going to be a really good hit from the main set. Valued, I believe, right around $8 right now. So we'll see if that value holds. Then we got ourselves a Mind Stone in retro with a Saproling and an Island. So lots of value on the board here. Now these are a little more expensive than your average draft booster box. Somewhere in the neighborhood of $180 to $210, depending upon where you're buying them from and how much you're paying for tax and shipping, as opposed to, $85 to $110 for a regular draft booster box. So you would hope to find some value in here. So we got a Stetson Desire, the Wormfang Drake, the Giant Spider, the Veiled Serpent, Mystic Zealot, Voice of All, which I happen to have right next to me in Plane Shift foil here. So in non-foil, this is only worth 23 cents, but in foil, it's worth $7. So not a high value foil, but I just happen to have it sitting literally right next to me, so I figured I'd show it. All right, Wall of Junk and an Arcanus of Omnipotent coming in. Not a card I'm familiar with. I mean, I've heard of it, but I've never pulled it out of a pack. And then we have Miss Sarah Angel coming in here in retro with a forest and a squirrel. Lots of Sarah Angels in my collection from various sets. Kind of like our Llanowar Elves, there's been quite a few reprints of her. All right, we've got ourselves a Twisted Experiment, Symbiotic Beast with lightning reflexes, Glintwing Invoker, Renewed Faith, Deep Analysis, the Phantom Flock, Slippery Karst with a Festering Goblin, an Illusion Reality, a Thran Golem. Then we're going to see a Fire Blast, and we're going to see a Worldly Tutor. So this is going to be a really good hit in the Retro series. Just around $9 right now. Then we got a Phantom Flock with a Mountain and an Elephant. So we've got just 2 tutors so far, the Worldly and the Enlightened, as far as I can tell. But you know, there's 3 more available. We got an Elvish Aberration, Undying Rage, Avenites, White Mane Lion, the Familiar, the Drifting Meadow, followed by an Ichor Slick, Break Asunder, Sawtooth Loon, with an Undead Gladiator, a Gamekeeper, and we're going to see a Forgotten Ancient coming in as our rare. Not high value, though. Right behind it, we're going to see a Frantic Search and a foil retro frame, Nature's Lore, with an island and a goblin. Right, so that just confirms, right, you can get foil retro frames inside of a draft booster box. I think we got about 7 or 8 packs left to go. Oh, well, it just broke off, so let's go the opposite direction. All right, so we got a Macetail Hydraston with Mana War, Radiance Judgment, followed by Crackling Fiend, Sandstorm, Giant Spider, Mystic Zealot, the Veiled Serpent, the Drifting Meadow, the High Tide, with a Battle Screech, and we're going to see a High Tide in Borderless Uncommon. Very nice to see that. That's our first uncommon Borderless. There are only a few in the set, and right behind that, we're going to see a Borderless Birds of Paradise. That is awesome. A double Borderless pack with a Street Wraith in retro and a Mountain and an Elemental. All right, so there's so much Borderless going on here. I'm just going to make a little extra room. All right, so that's 7 Borderless if we include the Rada Heir to Keld in this box, which is quite a bit. Compared to Double Masters draft booster boxes, you might have gotten 4 to 6. So to get 7 already, this is a really good box where they've changed the matrix. So we got a Turncoat, Restorer, the Scout, Leaden Fists, the Decoy, the Lancer, the Sentry, the Deep Analysis, followed by a Sarah Angel, a Recoil. Then we've got Deriga's Caldera, or Caldera. And then we got Triskelion coming in as our rare, with a Mog War Marshal in retro, and a Dragon Engine in foil, with a Plains and a Goblin in the back. Here we go. We'll bring Rada up front so that way you can see all of the Borderless there. So far, I'm pretty happy with this box. Hopefully the future ones are also as good. Is Rada causing some issues with our focus? All right, so we've got Desire, Hystrodon, Mana War, Radiance Judgment, Crackling Fiend, Ichor Slick, a Lull, followed by the Lancer. Oh, there we go. Wolf, and we've got the Drake with Trevo's Ruins, Dodecapod, Fire and Ice, and we are going to see a Sarah Avatar Retro Mythic coming in. So we have already seen the Sarah Avatar, this time in retro frame though. And then we've got a Primal Boost with a Plains and a Bird. All right, next up we've got the Goblin Medics with an Aqua Amoeba, Circle of the Forward Order, Urborg Siphon Mage, the Werebear, followed by an Ember Beast, a Dragon Engine. It's the Worldly Tutor grabbing the focus. That's interesting. All right, we'll just hold the cards here. Sorry about that. Terminal Moraine, Wild Dogs, Draluna's Crusade with a Dragon Whelp, Croesus Catacombs, and then Sol Kanar the Swamp King coming in as our rare with a High Tide in retro, and then a Forest and a Sheep token in the back. All right, we are down to 4 packs to go, and then we'll get into the full MTG box analysis. All right, so we've got the Phyrexian Debaser, followed by the Seer, the Stoker, the Avenance, Pacifism, the Sentry, the Ornithopter, Polluted Mire, Crop Rotation, Floodgate, Flametongue Kavu, and Savine's Reclamation coming in as our rare with the Seer in retro and a Sulfur Falls retro foil rare. Then a Swamp and a Goblin. Sorry about that. That one just totally flustered me. Not sure why. All right, next up we got the Sandstorm, followed by the Medics, the Aqua Amoeba, the Circle of the Forward Order, the Siphon Mage, the Werebear. Then we've got the Phyrexian Rager with the Goblin Matron, and Ornithopter, Slice and Dice. Then we're going to see Terravore, followed by Zombie Infestation. And we're going to see a Last Chance Mythic Borderless coming in here. That is awesome to see that. I'll take that for sure. Then we've got ourselves a Retro Dragon Whelp with a Swamp and an Elephant. So, yeah, there's a lot of borderless going on in here. I expected a lot of retro frame, but the borderless is a little bit of a surprise. So we got a Peregrine Drake, Spirit Link, Wretched Honorid with a Primal Boost, Empty the Warrens, Phyrexian Rager, Wild Dogs, Goblin Matron, a Frantic Search, Improvised Armor, the Milliken, Call of the Herd, with a Maze of Ith retro coming in. Very nice to see that. A little bit of value. Then we're going to see a Horseshoe Crab with a Mountain and a Squirrel. All right, final Dominaria Remastered Draft Booster Pack. Let's see if there's one more really good card in here. Maybe we can use the will of force to make it come out. Crackling Fiend, Wild Growth, Grape Shot, Snap, Radiance Judgment, and Obsessive Search. Solar Blast, Polluted Mire. See a foil. We've got a Spirit Monger, Thieving Magpie, Chainer's Edict, and we're going to see a Grim Lavamancer as our last rare from the main set. Our retro will be an Ornithopter, and we're going to see a foil common Worm Fang Drake with another island and a bird token. All right, so I'll get everything sorted, organized, and be right back with the MTG box analysis. In today's MTG Box Analysis, we're going to review the set distribution and pack eligibility for Dominaria Remastered. We'll then take a look at the set distribution versus the cards that we saw in this box. We'll go over coverage metrics, take a look at the current set value, the value that we saw in this box, and we'll close it out with a summary. If you want to go deeper into the analysis and see all the metrics for this box and 70 others, simply join the channel at the Give Me the Data level. The Dominaria Remastered set contains a total of 456 cards. Every single card is a reprint from Magic's history. More specifically, they're reprints from 27 sets that took place on Dominaria. The main set consists of 261 cards, and of those, 150 are available in retro frame, and 45 of those are available in borderless with new artwork. In draft booster packs, you can see nearly all the cards in the set, both in foil and non-foil. The only exception are the 10 retro frame basic lands. In draft packs, you can only pull the non-foil versions of those cards. In collector booster packs, you can't see any of the 261 cards in traditional frame in non-foil, but they are all available in foil. You also can't pull any of the retro frame basic lands in non-foil. They will all be foil in the collector booster packs, and you're guaranteed to see one per pack. Now let's take a look at the cards that we saw in this box. This chart shows all the cards we saw during the opening, with the foils in orange, the non-foils in green, and the set in gray as the baseline. In the non-foil space, we saw a variance of 7 cards between green 76 and blue 69. We also saw 73 retro frame non-foils, however 36 of those were basic lands. And finally, we saw 7 non-foil borderless cards in these 36 packs. In the foil space, we didn't see any white or black foils, but we did see 12 foils spanning all other categories, including 2 foil retro frames and 1 foil borderless. Moving into coverage, in the non-foil space, we saw 252 unique cards, which gave us 55% of the 456 cards in the set. Our highest coverage was in white, with 86% of the cards making an appearance in this box. In the foil space, we saw 12 total cards. This gave us 3% of the 446 foils that we were eligible to see. Pivoting the coverage by rarity, in the non-foil space, we saw 94% of the commons and 74% of the uncommons that we were eligible to see. We also saw 29 rares for 20% coverage and 7 mythics for 12% coverage. In the foil space, we saw 6% of the commons, 2% of the uncommons, 2 rares for 11% coverage, and a single mythic for 2% coverage. In total, these 36 packs contain 31 rares and 8 mythics. In this box, we saw 264 unique cards. None of our foils were duplicated, but 142 of the non-foils were repeated 276 times for a box duplication rate of 51%. In total, we saw 27 playsets of common cards, with the Goblin Matron, Primal Boost, and Polluted Mire appearing 5 times. Before we get into the value that we saw in this box, let's baseline with a look at the value of the Dominaria Remastered set using pricing from January 16th, 3 days after release. Currently, the set features 30 cards valued over $10, which is 4 more than just 2 days ago. There are also 22 cards valued between $5 and $10, which is 3 less than 2 days ago. However, this makes sense because several of the cards in this category have increased in value. The set also features 55 cards valued between $1 and $5, which is significantly less than a few days ago. And finally, the remaining 349 cards in the set are valued less than $1. If you were to add up the value of all 456 cards using non-foil pricing, you'd have a grand total of $1,177.93, which is $363.56 more than just 2 days ago. I think right now the demand is really high for this set, and we'll just have to see if these prices hold, or if they are just a post-release spike. Now let's take a look at the value that we saw in this box, starting off with the non-foils. We saw 4 big hits in this box, including the retro frame No Mercy at $11.66, and the retro frame Worldly Tutor at $12.82. In modern frame, we saw the Enlightened Tutor valued at $18.30, and then we saw a borderless Sylvan Library in Pack 1 for $35.53. We also saw 3 non-foils valued between $5 and $10, and 7 non-foils valued between $1 and $5. The remaining 514 non-foils in the box were valued less than $1. It may not have seemed like it, but in the foil space, I'd say we did pretty good, with 33% of our foils being valued over $1. Our best foil was the borderless No Mercy, currently valued at $27.34. We also saw 1 foil valued between $5 and $10, and 2 foils valued between $1 and $5. The remaining 8 foils in the box were all valued less than $1. So how did this box perform? Well, I purchased this box from my local game store for $179.99, not including tax, on release day. Today's draft booster box contained 36 packs with 15 cards each, allowing us to see 540 total cards. The 34 tokens in the box are currently valued at $6.69. The 37 non-foil retroframe cards have a market value of $48.64. The 36 non-foil basic lands are valued at $8.48, and the 2 retroframe foils are currently valued at $11.60. From the main set, the 448 non-foils that we saw are valued at $115.76, and the 9 foils are valued at $3.91. The 8 foil and non-foil borderless cards have a total market value of $78.09, which brings the grand total for the box up to $273.17, which is a gain of $93.18 over my purchase price and equates to a return of 152%. Now, for those of you interested in cards valued just over $2, the numbers look like this. In total, we saw 14 cards valued over $2 in this box, and they have a current combined value of $155.84, which accounts for 57% of the total box value. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, do something amazing.